Here I have a stack of video game books that exist right now. Now, how are you feeling? You got John Riggs here. I love video game books still today. I have a whole closet full of them. In fact, it's actually bending the wooden beams. I didn't know wood could bend. But we have, this is just a pile of books that I've received probably within the last year or so. You see, and this is the truth. I used to cover video game books on this channel all the time because I'd always find them, I'd buy them, I'd check them out, do a quick video on them, and this was like 5 years ago. And looking at the YouTube analytics, nobody really watched them. So I was like, well, I'll just stop doing them. However, there's a lot of great books that came through recently, so I'll just cover a bunch of them that I've received in the last year. Some of them I backed on Kickstarter. Some of them I just received in the mail of, hey, I wrote this thing, check it out. Some of them I found at a convention. So I may not have links to all of these in the description below. I'll see if I can find as many as I can, and if anything's missing in the description, maybe just, you can't link it because YouTube hides that. But just shout it out in the comments of like where people can find it or something like that. Because again, some of these I found at conventions, so they might not even have the ability to buy them online, but we'll just see what we have here. And the irony is, I love video game books when I've never read a novel in my life. Not even in high school. I've read autobiographies. I read manga all the time. Does that count? Graphic novels? I mean, I've got Junji Ito right here. But I think they're great because reading is what? Oh, please say you said fundamental. Okay. Even more novel is I'm not the guy who reads books, and I literally wrote a book about breakfast cereal. I also have the bigger version too. But when I say I wrote a book about breakfast cereal, like, yes, there's words in it, but it's really all just about the boxes. And I've sold these at conventions for the past year or so. And I'm tweaking it to have the final version available for sale online. That's coming soon, and when it is out, I'll definitely share I'll share a link and all that too on my socials. Remember these two cereals? They were like my favorite. NES Endings Compendium, years 1985 through 1988. This is from Rey Esteban. That's right, I roll my R's. What a fun idea for a book. I wish this book would have existed in 1990 because so many games I couldn't beat. But this book just goes through some of the classics, here's Contra here, and even the endings, and sometimes different endings on other platforms as well. I don't mean other platforms, sorry, like you know, the US version versus the Japanese version might be two different endings, as with the case of Contra. And here's another spoiler for you, Life Force, the Japanese ending shows that you were a woman pilot the whole time. Oh, the United States wasn't ready for that yet. Come on now. Oh, there's a great one in here, hold on, where is it? Where is it? Is it alphabetical? Ah, perfect. Did you know Karnov, which has one of the worst endings in the US, has a whole storyline of why he beams down to the planet. He's like a warrior of God or something like that, and the different endings can have different outcomes, like how you play the game and stuff like that too. Very, very cool book. This one was a must-buy for me. Although I don't remember if I bought it. Maybe I was sent it. I don't remember. But I would have bought it. I may have covered this on this channel before, but here's a book all about Rygar. You love Rygar? Here's a book all about Rygar. And when I mean all about Rygar, I mean Commodore 64, Spectrum ZX, or ZX Spectrum, sorry. I get that mixed up all the time. You know, you know, like classic art from Rygar. You know, the NES version versus the arcade version. Other ports later. It's all about Rygar. It's your favorite game ever. That's perfect. I'm a huge fan of the Hardcore Gaming 101 books. This one is The Bride of Retro Horror. This book is all about the classic video games with a horror theme. So perfect if you're doing some research on games to play for Halloween. First one I opened it up to is Zombie. Check that out. I picked this up from Rusty Shackles, actually, at the Louisville Arcade Expo. Oh, remember D? I loved D. I don't know if you could call a game D in this day and age. Well, you could. Might be getting a whole different experience, though. There's a joke about how long the game is or how hard the game, I don't know. Quick peek at Phantasmagoria, you know, stuff like that. So, retro horror video games and cool art on the back there, too. This was sent to me not too long ago. I can cover magazines as well. This is the GB Studio magazine. Here's volume 1, classic looking cover there. And it's all about programming on the Game Boy. So, I mean, just about, you know, Game Boy and Game Boy stuff. Game Boy Studio music lessons. How to program maybe music for Game Boy and stuff like that. What a fun idea. So, if you're into magazines as well, many of them exist. And there's going to be a couple of magazines in this video here as well. This is a book I was really excited to check out. The NES Pal-B guide. Now, ever since attending the UK and doing a couple of videos on like PAL exclusives for the UK, for NES as well as the Super Nintendo releases, they actually have a book. This is in English and in German, which is pretty cool. So it has a lot of insight on what's going on, but of course, I just want to see the pictures of things. Oh, there's even a whole section about bootlegs, hacks, and repros. I wonder if I'm in here. I mean, probably not, but, you know. Actually, wait a minute, am I? I am not. All right, I'm not important enough. It's all good. We... yeah. No, it's like a compendium. Games, prices, what there might be different in some ranges, or maybe just the exclusives that we didn't get, like Hammer and Harry. Great, great game. Wish it would have come out in the US. Games like Blue Shadow, which we know is Shadow of the Ninja. Games like Parasil Stars or Proteus that we never got here. Yeah, cool to see, and there's a lot going on with this giant book, so definitely check this out. Even if you're not a PAL collector or anything like that, it's just cool to see what they have in other regions. Very insightful. Oh my god, this guy's big. It's a big one. Supercade, A Visual History of the Video Game Age from 85 to 2001, from Van Burnham. This guy is gigantic. Oh my goodness. Dude. It's like using those workout ropes here. I love the... Good lord, there's got to be a better way to do this. Ugh. I love the art style and the thing. You can just flip open to any page, and you're like, oh, cool, that. And then you can read the words if you want. Or you can just open up the page, and it's like, oh, I remember that. Do I remember this? What is this one? Oh, Abe's Oddworld Odyssey. Love that one. Wait, Oddworld, Abe's Odyssey. Here's Daikatana. So, a little visual guide. It's all about the pictures. It's this visual history, but then it takes it all the way back. Here's the zapper. All right, I'm putting this down before I tear another bicep muscle. This is one I had to back on Kickstarter as soon as I saw it because it's from Matthew Toronto, but as well as Howard Phillips. And then so they go through very... It looks like Nintendo Power on the cover, right? Of course, it's supposed to. It's supposed to. But even on the inside, very Nintendo Power looking. Talks about, you know, the history of and stuff, and more stuff about old video games, and that's what it's all about. And what a fun idea. Goes through the years. And again, with Howard Phillips, you know, insight on this, makes it a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful book. And although it was on Kickstarter, it may still be available. I'm not sure. But like with anything, if I don't know something's going to be available later on, I better just grab it because I don't want to regret it later. Easier to buy and then say, not for me, and sell at a convention later than to just completely regret it and then maybe find it on eBay. The Adventures in Video Games, a guide to solo adventures and mighty Marvel team-ups with creator interviews. This is from Brian Farrell. I did thumb through this one a bit. I think I got this about a year ago or so. And it's a book that's talking about all of the Marvel video games for all consoles. Dating back, let's see how far back, oh, check it out. Here's Iron Man for the Game Boy Advance. Iron Man, Hulk, Thor, Captain America. A canceled Avengers game? Are you kidding me on this? This thing's pretty neat, and is one of the many books you can grab right now, combining Marvel with video games and turning into a book to have right on your shelf. Including Old School Gamer magazine. They've been around for a while, and love seeing these guys at conventions. A couple of my buddies actually write for this magazine, which is kind of cool. Nice that they talk about, you know, some classic games. It's an Old School Gamer magazine, so it's all about the old school game stuff delivered right to your door every month. Kind of nice too that they advertise other conventions as part of their thing, and they probably talk about the conventions that they are attending, which would make the most sense. It's like, hey, we're going to be here too, so join me. Well, it's like me and my channel where it's talking about, well, here's the conventions I'm going to be at. I can't mention all the conventions, but I'll mention the ones that are, you know, bringing me in. Yeah, Old School Gamer magazine is always great. This is your complete indie gaming guide called Debug. This is from our friends in the UK actually put this together. I think Wave Studios is slightly behind this. Because I'm a huge indie gamer, having created some indie video games myself, this magazine is all about these great indie games that maybe you didn't know about. Maybe there's new games for your favorite system that you didn't know exist. New games for Dreamcast, new games for NES. No, I think it's just all indie games in general. I don't know, there's gonna be games for like PC and Switch and stuff like that too. Some cool games to check out there. So if you're into indie games like I am, check out Debug. Here's a little mini book. It's about this is like manga sized. In fact, this is literally, yeah, it's just about manga sized. This is called System Gamer. System Gamer. Level 1, this is the first issue of System Gamer. And it's another nice little pocket size. I like these pocket size ones because I'm running out of shelf space. In fact, I am out of shelf space. I have all the books out there, and then I have books on top, and then I think there's some on the floor. There's some behind me. So things like this, you know, there's little pocket-sized ones I'm really into, but super cute, and check that out. How would you like to learn how to program games for the Intellivision? Well, now you can, and the best part about you programming games for the Intellivision is once they're programmed, they're out, if that makes sense. What? Look how in-depth that is. Can you make heads or tails of that? If you can, make games for the Intellivision. We could use some. How about a picture book? How about a fun book? How about a kid's book? This is Ukulele and the Cracklestone. I think I've covered this in a video a while back, but I'll cover it again since it's right here. From the Dream Prism Press. I love the quality of these pages here too. It's literally just like a graphic novel. No, I wouldn't call it a graphic novel, but you know, it's like a kid's book. It's like a kid's book about ukulele. Huh. And again, not video game related, but coming soon, I wrote a book about the breakfast cereals of the 80s and 90s. Mostly the themed cereals. Got Barbie, of course. C-3POs, gotta love that. Remember ice cream cone cereal? Probably my favorite cereal of all time. And then during the pandemic, I got bored, so it's like, here's what cereal looks like up close. Like, here's some toys that came with breakfast cereal that I still have. Remember these auto changers too? And they actually made a Mario Paint paintbrush with Fruit Loops back when Mario Paint first came out. The paint is all dried up, but you know. Cereal from around the world, including, did you know that they have a Nutella Toast Crunch in Germany? Yes, they do. Well, it's chocolate hazelnut, but you can't fool me. This will be available very, very, very soon. It's currently available at conventions, and if I do have the bigger version available, if you need one, hit me up on Instagram or something like that. I can always ship you one.